Hello and welcome back once again to my living room here in the Denver, Colorado area. And today we are going to repot the Golden Gammon White Knight into the Orchiata small bark that I just received from the Orchid Supply Store. This is what I was waiting for to do this. And if you'd like to get your 12% off viewers discount, go down into the description below and I will have their website for you to click on at the coupon and gift certificate area. Type in TRISH, get your 12% off, as well as free shipping. Now this is my Weirdest Orchid, and now that we can get her a little bit closer and I have two hands instead of one, I wanted to show you. So normally what would happen is this bulb should grow out of these two bracts and then complete two beautiful leaves and move on with life. However, on this one, so here are the bracts, and she decided to come out of the side, and she is developing the bulb, and the leaves are growing rather slowly, but they're especially this one right here is very, very pinched in, so I'm not sure what is going to happen with that. But currently, she is in a moss and small bark setup. She's been in here since March of 2021. I'm going to put her into this 5-inch clear pot, again from the Orchid Supply Store. I've already put in some large bark at the bottom with my mycorrhizal fungi, and I used my handy dandy automatic sprayer to go ahead and wet that fungi so that when I go to run the water, it does not flush out. But first, I guess we need to see what's going on inside here. So I'm going to move the camera down a little bit and then we will unpot her. And I am going to be using a glove today because I am having a little bit of a texture issue today. I don't know if you saw the video where I kind of explained why sometimes I wear a glove and sometimes I don't. Usually when I'm wearing a glove, it's because I'm having an issue with textures. And I know that since she's been in here almost 2 years, that the moss and the bark is going to have a funky feel to it, so I'm prepared. Now I'm just gonna, these roots that are already just kind of sticking out, just take those off. And she doesn't have, she's got one nice root up under the bottom, but other than that, not much else. I do have the sterilized cutting utensil, and I grabbed the hydrogen peroxide for any damage we might do. Let's just squeeze her. And she's got a lot of healthy roots in here. I'm not going to be too pedantic on cutting any of the dead roots. I will cut the ones I can obviously see, but mainly, well, let's squeeze her some more. She's not wanting to come out. And I will grab her from an older portion of the plant, and I pull on the pot. I don't pull on the plant. I like to kind of tug on the pot. And okay, so the one root that she has at the bottom is not going to come out nicely, and that I believe is what was holding her in. Let's just see what up right here. Go. All right. And something else is holding on. There's another old root at the bottom here. I guess I'm going to cut that one off. It's not wanting to come off rather easily. Hopefully now she will just slide on out. And there we go. So the media actually is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Let's put it over here. So all these beautiful roots here. But first, let's just take it all off. Take the media out what we can. And again, I'm not going to be too, I guess, crazy on getting all the media off. Whatever media stays on is fine. The roots themselves don't look too bad. Now she doesn't have any roots on these older back bulbs. Don't expect to see any back there. I believe I cut those off when I repotted her back in May of 2021. But overall, these roots look amazing. Are some that are obviously gone, but not too many. Being very diligent about the roots on this side though, because they have a couple of growing tips that are going to be needed because she's going into all bark this go around, whereas she's coming out of a bark moss mixture. I'm putting her into all bark, small bark, and the small bark, once it gets wet enough, it will hold the moisture a little bit longer. Initially, it will dry out rather quickly, so I will have to probably water her about every other day, if not every 2 to 3 days, just until everything gets established in the pot, because I do let her dry out in between the watering, so it's not that she stayed wet the entire time. That whole section there can come off, if you can see. And it does have a branching root system, so that is also a plus in orchids when they have that branching root system. So if you do damage any root, it will usually encourage it to branch off. So let's cut this one off here. And I have some nice roots that are coming up because there's a sheath holding it from coming down. So I will take that sheath off here in a moment. Let's check this side over here. And most of your dead roots are going to be with the older growth. And even though this here is branching at the bottom, the top is completely gone. So I'm not trying to leave that on there, because it is going into organic media, unlike our Sherry Baby that was going into inorganic. I do not want any of these roots that are already gone to mess up the media any sooner than it needs to be, because the plan is to actually have her in here for another 2 years. So this is the root system that we are left with. Some of them do look a little tired. However, we have lots of branching root tips down here. And let's just go ahead and take the sheath off here. We can get to it. And it is completely dried. All right, let me take this glove off now so I can get in there. There we are. And get this side here so the roots can start going down instead of all up in the air. Some of them are going down, some of them are going up in the air. This is one of those times when you wish you'd had your tweezers ready, because I like to use my tweezers to grab the ones that get stuck in between your pseudobulbs there. See if I can separate it just enough to get to it without breaking anything. Nope, it is not coming out of there. All right, well, I'll get my tweezers later and take it off then, but for now, just get off what we can. Let me see, do I want to cut this little section off? I've said it before, and I'll probably say it again several times. I like to go in with my cutters closed, and then once I get to where I'm at, open them so I can clip off what I need, especially when you have these nice fine roots on Oncidium types. And the White Knight is a cross between the Oncidium sotoanum and the Brasidium gilded urchin. And apparently it is supposed to be fragrant, which I'm assuming it takes from the Sogo Vivian. Why do I have Sogo Vivian on my mind? The sotoanum parent. That one is gone. So let's just take that off. It was sticking straight up. There we have it. All right, move that out the way. And she is going to sit in here nicely. I'm just gonna spread the little bit of roots that she has around the bottom. I will place her in the center, and this back area of the plant is going to kind of get buried a little bit because I don't want to plant her sideways. There we have a challenge. All right, we're going to do it like this. Let's get her all spread out so all the roots aren't in one particular spot. There we go. All right, and bring this over. And we'll just start filling her in. And because she is an Oncidium with the smaller root system, they don't really like a lot of air pockets. You don't have to pack it, but you want to make sure that there's not a lot of air pockets in your pot because they like to be a little more snug. And you can usually tell by the root system whether you want to try to get all the air pockets out or not. The smaller the root system, the less air pockets you really want in the pot, because you don't want them to dry out too quickly. Now there are exceptions, like the Phragmipedium has nice, not Phragmipedium, Paphiopedilum has those nice big roots. However, they do not appreciate air, and they do not appreciate air pockets. So sometimes you, as with everything in the orchid hobby, there's always a but. But, you know, there's no golden rule for anything. The idea, again, is to put her in here and not have to stake her. I'm trying to get these new roots covered up as well so that they can start doing their job in the pot, because they're not doing anything on the outside of the pot. Let's just press it down a little bit, and then I am going to kind of pat it to see if anything is loose in there. And I don't see a lot of air pockets. There is one right here. So I like to squeeze my pots and then just kind of move the media so that it falls in place. There we are. And who knows, with this repot, maybe she might kick out a new growth from one of these back bulbs here. And as you can kind of see, she's got less media here and it kind of goes up, and that's because I'm burying these back bulbs. I should have probably used some large bark back there just so it'll dry out a lot quicker. I'm trying to get this one root that is just insistent on staying out of the pot. I'm gonna put it back in. One of those, you're gonna do what I want you to do, and it's like, nope, I'm gonna do what I wanna do, and it's gonna do what it wants to do. The same thing with this root right here. It's just a little tiny root that just will not stay in the pot. You know what? I'm gonna stop trying to force it to do, because then I'll end up breaking it. I will definitely make another tag, because I've lost the tag somewhere. I don't know what I did with it. And I repotted in 2021. I'm gonna make the assumption that I got this orchid in 2020. I may have gotten it in 2019. I honestly do not remember. There it is. And I did leave a few roots kind of to help monitor here. I'll give her a nice watering, and we will just have to keep an eye on her. And again, if anybody can tell me what in the world, because obviously there's nothing wrong under the plant. It was just this right here. So, interesting, interesting. Let me know what your weirdest plant is and why is it weird. And if you make videos, do a video of your weirdest plant. Just use the hashtag #MyWeirdestPlant, or My Weirdest Orchid, sorry. I'll see you next time.